What's up, guys? It's Robson Hashida here, and today we're going to talk about something really interesting. Is about stop loss. Okay, so what happens when the trade doesn't go into your direction and the trade starts to go against you? You need a stop loss. So you need to have a way to protect your capital. All right. So if you don't have a stop loss, you need an exit strategy. So, but you need a way to protect your capital. You need a way to like protect your capital when the trade doesn't go into your direction. Okay. So it's very important to do so. Let's launch my notepad. So what you need is capital preservation. You can have either a stop loss. Okay? Or if you don't have a stop loss, you need an exit strategy. And for forex, some of you may even like hedge, but let's not talk about this at the moment. Let's talk about stop losses. Okay. So how do you do stop losses? So for today, well, let's take a look at the trades that didn't go well and how I set my stop loss. Okay. So the first trade that we are going to take a look at is euro dollar on M1, so 1 minute. Okay, what happened here? We got a huge red candle that broke the key level. The key level here, as you can see here, would be 1.12000. Okay, so 1.12000 was the key level. There was a huge red candle that broke it. So I waited until it bounced back to a so once it broke it, there was a retrace back to the key level, and then I entered here. Okay. So what was the mistake here? Some When I look at it now, I may think that there was this tiny blue candle with a huge volume was telling me here there is a huge like support here, and from here price would go up. Of course, it's always easier to see things after they already happened, okay? But that moment, I, although I saw this, at that moment, I still thought it would go down. So I placed my trade here. So once again, like there was huge support around this level. So at around 1.11900 probably, right? So here would probably be 1.11900, I guess. So there was a huge support, and then price went against me, and I closed it here. Okay. So what are you looking at? So how do you place the stop loss? There are two things to consider. Whenever you enter a trade, so why successful? What is the difference between successful traders and non-successful traders? Okay, so you want to basically maximize. Okay, so you want to maximize your profit. Okay, when you are correct. So when the trade goes into your direction, and you want to minimize your loss. Okay, so you want to maximize profits. Okay, and minimize losses. So you want to minimize losses when the trade goes against you. And how do you do that? So, for this particular style of trading that we trade is the Pvsra, okay, scalping. So we do scalps and we target 5 pips. So if you want to minimize loss, okay, this is the TP, okay, and today I'm not going to talk much about the TP. I will also make a new video about TP where I talk about maximizing 5 pips. So sometimes we may go to even like 10 pips. By the way, today I had a trade that I made 8 pips. I'm going to explain about that in another video. So today let's focus on stop losses. So if you have 5 pips that you target, you want to minimize your losses. So you want to do less, okay, than okay, less than 5 pips for losses, right? So that when you are correct, you make 5 pips. And when you are wrong, you lose less than 5 pips. So you lose like 4 point something, or like, if possible, even less than that. So how do you minimize your losses? So once here, a good rule of thumb would be to set the stop loss when it breaks the dragon. Why? Because basically, what I was targeting here was a bounce back to the key level. And then from the key level, I was expecting that price would go, PA would go down again, but it didn't. So my next target would, okay, probably PA would go back to Dragon and retrace from Dragon and go down, but it didn't. So once it did not happen, and it started to go against me. So it broke Dragon here. This was the time to stop loss. Because once it broke Dragon, it's more likely that the next target here for the price itself would be to go up all the way to the 200 EMA. Okay, so once it breaks the dragon, it's more likely that it will go all the way to the 200 EMA, and you don't want it to happen. Why? Because it happens, you lose much more than just a few pips. You lose, and probably it's going to be much more than 5 pips. Probably from here to here would already be like 10 pips at least. Yeah, around 10 pips. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. So here I set my stop loss to cut at this time, and probably here was around like 5 point. Yes, you can see here actually. So this was 4.6 pips, okay, but counting from here. So counting from here would be, I think, almost 5 pips, almost 5 pips. So not really. Yeah, not really. Not 5 pips. So less than 5 pips. So basically, when I'm wrong, I'm minimizing my losses. So I want to lose less than 5 pips. So here was like 4.7 maybe. Okay. So you're basically losing less than when you are correct. Okay. So when you are correct, you are making more. And this is how you should always think when you trade Forex. Not only Forex, when you trade anything, when you trade like commodities, uh, options, stocks, anything, right? Let's look at the next example. And by the way, for this particular trade, I remember that PA went all the way up. I remember he went all the way up to the next key level here. And the reason for this, if I'm not mistaken, at that time there was something that happened at the another time frame. Maybe I forgot to look at greater time frames, because at N15 there was something that happened that PA would eventually go all the way back to this key level. I forgot what happened, but anyways, let's go to the next example. So the next thing that happened to me, okay, this is a very good example, and this is something that I always do. I also recommend you do, actually, because this is something like this. This stop loss that I made here was because I always think like this when PA, okay? So when it takes a long time for PA to do the move, I I thought, okay, it's taking too much, In Pvsra scalping, it doesn't really take you much. And that's what that's the beauty of PVSRE, because usually when you place a trade on PVSRE, only takes a few minutes and then boom, it goes, right? So this one was taking longer, much longer than I was expecting. So it started to go like up like this, and then I thought, okay, let me close it. So here I had a stop loss, and then I remember I lost 0.2, maybe 0.2 pips, something like that. Okay, and eventually it broke it, and I made some money. Okay, some of you may say, oh, so why didn't you wait? Okay, because you would have made money here. But then, of course, like you can say so because this already happened. You can see what happened later. So you're saying this, okay? At this time when I closed it, I didn't know that, okay? So what happened here? What happened here was very interesting because like this, I noticed that PA broke this level, okay? And from here, I opened the trade here, okay? And you may ask me this question, why you didn't wait until PA bounced back to Dragon and then open the trade here, okay? How did you know that this would not retrace? It's I have this rule whenever it breaks like this, I take a look at Dragon. So Dragon was already very close to the key level. So when the Dragon, okay, so when the Dragon is close to the key level, you don't really wait until a retrace. You open like the trade right here, okay? Because think like this. Even if there is a retrace, the retrace will be back to the key level and then go down, right? So then, because Dragon is already almost okay. When I open here, Dragon was already very close, so you don't really expect. If Dragon was somewhere here, then you can expect. So then you can expect that this will break and then will retrace all the way back to Dragon and then come back. But here I didn't. Okay, I didn't expect. Of course, it could have, right? Because anything is possible. So it could have retraced, but then I didn't wait. Okay, and then I was lucky that it went all the way down and it closed it here. All right, and after that went even like further down, and then there was a retrace that tried to get back to Dragon but failed to go back to Dragon. Then it went bearish again. All right. So, but what I want to tell you guys here is this part, because this part is something that whenever it takes it's taking too long, actually is good to close, because it could okay, it could happen that PA would try to get back, okay, to Dragon like here, and then I didn't want to lose even more. So, but anyways, so this is a very good example. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this is something that, yeah, this is something that actually, you know, this was a very bad trade. This was a very bad trade because okay, I waited until PA broke the previous low with a big, well, relatively big candle. So this was correct, but the thing is that I should have waited until it bounced back to Dragon. Okay, but I didn't wait. I opened here, so this was my mistake. This was really my mistake. But even if I waited, I would have opened here, but then it went all the way up. So I even if I waited, I would have lost anyways. Yeah, right? Because if I wait until it bounced back to Dragon, I would have placed a bear like short. I would have shortened here, right? Expecting it would go from here would go down, but it didn't do anyway. So it started go up and broke Dragon here, right? So I would have lost money anyway. So yeah, This was a very bad one. And but as you guys can see here, I set my stop loss to when it broke the dragon here. Okay, so in terms of setting the stop loss, I was correct. But in terms of entering the trade, I was completely wrong. Okay, so you don't enter the trade here. Definitely don't. Okay, and some of you may argue with me and say, oh, because on the example just before you said that you should look at the distance, right? And the distance here was short, that's why you opened here. Yes, yes, but the thing is, the angle was so-so, right? And the another thing here is that this candle was not that big. If this candle, and another thing, this was a double candle that broke it, right? So if this candle was a single one that broke the key level, right, then I think maybe it would make sense for me to open here. But this candle, oh, look at the candle, it didn't break the key level. The one that broke the key level was the one before. But probably now that I think about it, I probably entered this trade because I got double candles. So I got double candles and then I thought, oh, maybe, okay, so it's double red candles with notable volume. So because of these double red candles with notable volume, I entered here. But I was wrong, okay? This was not really a very happy example, all right? So which is completely different from the first one. If you look at the first one, okay, so the first one was better, okay, because okay, of course, if you not consider this blue one, because this blue one was already telling me that I shouldn't have entered. But anyways, okay, let's go back again. So okay, let's go back to this one, and this one was a very bad one that I entered. So let's go to the next one. Okay. And this is the final example. So what happened here? Here is a very good example that I prevented losses and I lost almost nothing. Actually, I think I lost 0.1 pips here, or not even, because it broke even here, right? Almost. So it's like this. What happened here? What happened here is that Uh, this green candle broke the previous high with notable volume, okay, and a relatively big candle, so it broke it. So I entered here, didn't wait for, I should have waited for a retrace, but I didn't enter, okay, I was young. Not I was young, but I was not thinking properly, so I didn't think a retrace would happen. So a retrace did happen. So when the retrace did happen, I was smart because then I entered again. Okay, so I entered again, made my 5 pips here, and then I thought, okay, so for this one I'll just close it here as well. So for this one I broke even, but for this one I made 5 pips. Okay, and after that PA went all the way up. Okay, of course you may say to me now, oh, you should have not closed because you would have made all these pips. Yeah, but of course this is, well, looking at the chart now, you can say so. But the time I closed it here, I didn't know this would happen, right? So yeah, you can't say so. So looking at it now, that makes sense to say so. But anyways, and I think I close it. You know why I close it here? Because basically at this time, this green candle was making double shoulders with this high. Okay, so this was the last high, and this new high was the same height as the previous high. So it was double shoulders. So after this was more likely that PA would go down again. Okay, but it didn't. It went all the way up. So yeah, well, you can be correct 100% of the time, right? So you can be always correct. So this is what happened to me. and I learned from my trades, I learned from my mistakes. So, as a lot of people say, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn. So, this time I learned my lesson. And I really hope that you guys learned with me today. And I will see you guys on my next video. And I wish you guys a very profitable week. So, stay green, my friends. And that's my message. Bye.